like that. Alright.
Amazing, come on. It's a comp.
Yeah.
Dan, call your orb.
Alright. Let's start with comps. We have traditional anti-dive on this side, except people don't play McCree because McCree's too hard to play, so they run Soldier. Nothing wrong with this comp whatsoever. One thing to note. What was I saying? We're here to Junkrat set up a trap. Hasn't set one up yet? I don't think. Running triple tank here, which is super weird. One thing you can do is, like, about where Grape is standing now, you can actually contest the payload from high ground here, and then, like, on this, like, back little edge here, you can contest it again, while not leaving high ground. Just something odd you notice from the map. So what we're seeing, Control-Shift-7, fuck that, we're just gonna press that. What we're seeing from the attackers is we're running only really one support. We're running Sombra as our second support. First Point certainly has good enough health packs to do that. In particular, like, this one is in a good position, but no one ever uses it really, because the Mega here and the Mega here are just that much better positioned. It's kind of nuts how, like, teams end up kind of holding here and this goes unused because the other two are so good. So Sombra is great on First Point. I think she loses a lot of effectiveness Second Point. In that it's more spread, the packs aren't as good. There's only 2 Megas and no Minis on that one. And then Third Point, she's okay, but a lot of the fight is kind of contained away from the packs. Regardless, I don't like this comp that defense is running outputs a shit ton of sustained damage. And poke, but a lot of sustained damage if you try to jump into them, which is exactly what these two are trying to do. So that's kind of an issue. With only the Moira to heals, it's easy for, like, Moira wants everyone to be clumped together, right? You want to get damage with her healing spray in such a way that it hits multiple people at the same time. And for this reason, if people are spread out because they're jumping on a target in a distance while flanking it with a Tracer, while flanking it with a Sombra, you kind of lose the effectiveness. This is pre-patch, I think. So this is old Sombra building EMP from health packs, I think. Let's assume it is until I find info that it's not. Sombra is very good against this comp in general. Without cooldowns, Hog just kind of feeds ult, as does Orisa, as does Zenyatta. And so, like, I don't mind the Sombra here. I wish it kind of took up a DPS slot. And I think it would go really well with, like, maybe an ultimate that just, like, auto clears them in conjunction with EMP. Right now you have the Graviton, but Graviton automatically clears them regardless of EMP or not. Particularly if you're running bomb or other bomb. So I like this. I like generally most of these hero picks. I think in conjunction they're kind of strange, and I think you're going to find you're not going to have a ton of healing unless dive tanks can get up there and then quickly drop down. Alright, so we have it here.
Is that our Sombra?
That bounce just goes off to the fucking world. Is that our Sombra? You should know you're not running a Sombra.
Lord with that orb? That's wild.
Sombra dead.
Okay.
Ooh.
Discord Diva.
Tracer.
Okay. So you're down your 2 DPS immediately. Or specifically, you're down 1 of your DPS and your DPS support. The defending team should now push you. They should just leave high ground and just take the rest of you. We have Junkrat already kind of set up on a nice crossfire flank, and he'll prevent you from getting to the health pack. He does have to worry that the Diva doesn't come in, take the health pack area from him, and then kill him. So he can't extend too far, but otherwise, like, defenders are free to just, like, collect the rest of this.
You're dead.
What the fuck, man?
And I noticed you guys kind of noticed that, and you start backing up a little bit.
Let's
I mean, why are they so wildly out of position?
I mean, that's a fair point, but why are you
They're-
so good, dude?
grouping.
Why am I playing in Junkrat, dude? Alright, he's lingering too long.
Because I found out
They're
you can
pressuring in here.
you can throw a mine and throw a bomb
Hey,
at
guess
the
what?
same time.
Oh wow, they ate the shit out of that.
Tracer.
Alright, they're just building old charge by the looks of it by health packs. So yeah, this is pre-patch Sombra. Post-patch Sombra is apparently really, really good.
Behind the point. She's crouching.
From
Discord.
our
Where?
limited
She's
testing,
coming around the back.
it's pretty good. So for some reason, Grip's doing this thing where like he doesn't need shields. Shields are beneath him, or in this case, behind him. Orisa is not as confident as Junkrat, but also thinks shields are not that big of a deal. We have a bunch of people chasing the Tracer on this flank. I generally don't like this flank as Tracer. If only because you do leave yourself open to here. Going underneath and then like up the back works, but I realize you pretty much have to get to this bridge or on the high ground in order to properly support. What you can also do as Tracer instead is like come up here and then blink across, or come around here and then blink across. It might be safer. Yeah, it might be safer. Regardless, I don't like the defending team's positioning. They seem to understand that they want to be on high ground. And it seems like Bagel might be moving to like the spot to contest, but we're really spread out and we're kind of just not sure what we're looking to do right now as three people kind of focus on the Tracer. Alright, Winston jumps the Orisa. I don't know if I entirely like that. Certainly wasn't communicated to the extent that the D.Va is going in there too. Grape is just like fucking gone. Like, what is going on here? Okay.
D.Va Discord.
He comes in, he drops full, that's fine. He's getting some shit going on here. Notice how that wasn't really communicated? Does he have the bubble currently?
D.Va's on me.
Alright, so he realizes he has to drop down right away, so that's more of a feint. If you're going to do that sort of feint, I don't know if you want to commit your bubble right away. It would have been better to commit Defense Matrix or Zarya bubble for that. If that was communicated, great. Maybe it was just a mistake. Now we see, after the Winston drops down, the D.Va is going to take her turn. Unfortunately, she used cooldown to get up here. And she doesn't have the luxury of not getting hooked here, so I don't see this mech living.
Discorded.
Yep, there goes the mech. So now we're all split up. Junkrat, who was completely unscouted this way, is blowing up your Moira, who can fade away. I'd like to see Moira actually fade either into gas station, which is the upper arrow, or to her team, instead of this way, which is actually where the entire enemy team is kind of looking right now. So I don't like this path. Junkrat needs to be punished for this. Winston can do that easily. Tracer can return and do that easily. Yeah, the D.Va Winston timing seems to be pretty desynced right now. And Zarya has yet to actually influence the fight, but Winston decides to jump up. Okay. So his D.Va's gone. He's not going to get a ton of support until these two can get on or near the high ground. So he can't stay here for long. He might look to try to get a quick pick here on the Zenyatta before falling back to this Mega, which should be hacked if it's not. We see the Fade actually come back this way. But this isn't being communicated that Junkrat is alone on payload because he is free. And since they're not otherwise contesting payload, the one person contesting payload who's an easy target is pretty high on the priority list. Alright, so Baby D.Va's fucked.
Got her.
They got me.
Yeah, so we pick off the Zen and then we keep moving this way towards the Roadhog. As Winston, you don't really want to be near Roadhog for an extended period of time. It's not your job to kill him. Your job is mostly to punish out of position targets. So you being on the tanks, especially tanks that you're going to take an incredibly long time to kill, is just not a great plan. And we see how fucked you are. And you should die. Why don't you die? Do you die? The soldier doesn't miss his shots here.
Rotating
Baby
point.
Diva
Or
discorded.
low.
So watch your
Oh,
health
Winston
go.
top.
Got
As
it.
They
Winston
got me.
go down
Alright,
to like 2
I'm the only
bars,
healer. Play on me.
and he only hits you for an additional 30 while in midair. That means his tracking was poor. He got kind of lucky that neither the hog or the Winston or the soldier could hit you in midair when you jumped like that. Anyway, so the Junkrat finally dies, but notice like he did an okay thing in installing the payload to here with his flank. So as respawns come in, they might get another fight before it ends here. If you had focused him first, then you would force them on top down instead of you going to them.
Shit.
Hog probably still dies.
On point.
Or no, he's alive.
Zarya. Zarya personal down.
Good call out. The soldier drops here. How does the soldier get down? So here's the soldier. So you just drop.
Shit. On point.
He just drops down. He drops the healing station to say, I want to defend this area, and then he says, never mind, I'm dropping down. That's not what you want to do at all. In fact, he actually put himself in more danger
Zarya.
by being in the middle here, and he
Zarya
should be an
personal
easy
down.
focus. As a Zarya with her personal.
Alright, is this lost yet?
Hog is likely to get trickled here by himself. He should die on point in that case.
That is. Alright.
Can we contest last second?
I think we can
Yep.
maybe recontest last second. Oh.
Should I? I don't know.
Not you.
Well,
definitely
not
can't. We
alone.
I like the positioning that your Winston is taking to prevent them from coming this way to contest. Diva should be blocking this one. You see Tracer coming up here.
We can't.
Not alone.
This should be
obviously, but
uncontestable.
Can we? No, we
No,
can't.
that case.
that's
Okay,
fine anyway.
it's fine.
I could, even if I get on point,
Shit.
I'm gonna die.
Not the greatest bomb, but we back up into it. Seems fine. It's a good stagger. They won't be able to hold us here. If we can quickly take position with one payload, we can take an even fight as the cart sort of settles here. This area is really the first chance the defenders have of defending. Another one is take a quick fight as soon as these doors close, because this choke setup is actually hell for the attackers if they ever get stalled here. I'm sure you've seen it where they have like a hit scan on here or back here, and then like a tank set up here, and you just can't get the payload past this bridge with any regularity. That's what you want to avoid, and the pulse bomb does that. Pulse bomb does that just fine.
What the?
Got stuck.
I mean,
You didn't
it
get
was
stuck.
in ult though, so I mean,
Tracer bomb is
Solar
like
bomb is
inconsequential.
It's only 4 clips.
yeah,
Should
but
build
it's
that
also
shit so fast.
like, I don't know.
So if you guys can take position here, that'd be great.
It's better than him dying to one of those clips to add ult.
True.
Keep an arrow for the.
Alright, we see the Tracer Somber flanking. I like that in general. I assume this health pack is hacked. I would kind of want to see them flanking from 2 separate sides.
Tracer.
That should be fine.
I should maybe switch.
Tracer's in here now without bomb. She's in the middle of a couple, and she blinked to get here, which is loud. These people need to be reacting to
Zarya.
this.
Tracer behind.
So now you see how you put yourself kind of with your back to people you don't want to be back to. You recall here, if the hog's quick enough or has been paying attention to your movements, you get hooked as you come out here. If Junkrat was with the team, that flank becomes even more difficult. I'm not so sure what he's going for here. He might be looking to box out this Mega. Generally, though, there's not too much issue of him being here unless these two getting range to jump him. Alright, so we burned a lot of resources, Tracer, for almost no
76 is top.
great
Behind
payoff.
Tracer.
We could have waited for that bubble, I think. I think it's greedy to try to go for the bubbled Zarya and the Moira when the Moira can fade it, and you know she just used bubble. I might have instead gone for honestly Diva Mech's really important here. But great that you got the healer. The consistent
low.
healer. Now that you're up as a defending team, you want to contest payload. Unfortunately, Soldier is here by himself. He's being somewhat helped by boat mode, but I don't see a healing orb on anyone. Oh, it's on boat mode himself. Okay.
Keep it low.
So Soldier here is going to force back some flankers. This bomb has the
Oh,
potential to be fucking
shit.
huge.
alive.
Okay. That's close. So what's going on in the meantime? Everyone's kind of regrouping behind the point. This Winston has time to get back here. Actually, probably needs to go back to a health pack in order to heal up. He's in the dangerous position where his main healer's not with him. And his tank's not with him, so he's taking a lot of damage from the Orisa for free, who almost has Supercharger, despite the first failed fight.
Test.
Alright, so we drop down here, that seems fine. Tracer is in front of everyone, which is kind of dangerous for her. She's immediately forced back. We actually begin to contest here a little bit late. Like, we got that pick on the Moira a long time ago. So much so that I think she's respawned and rejoined the fight, although I can't see her immediately on my screen. I assume she's like under here.
D.Va half.
Sorry.
Oh, there she is. She has just returned. So, like, they got a whole bunch of payload for free despite us having the man advantage.
Tracer coming around behind.
Zarya.
Nice.
Alright, we get D.Va Mech, and we get Zarya. We don't need any more ults from the defending team to turn this. At all. It was a great use of ultimate to get what essentially comes down to 2 picks. Enemy team has used 1 in conjunction, and that didn't get them anything. They can try to turn it themselves by overcoming their deficit. It'd probably come from bomb, because nothing else really flows together. So like hack doesn't, yeah, probably just bomb.
Winston.
But there's no
alone?
need to do that. You have enough time.
Tracer
Just
Discord.
Tracer,
reset.
right?
All right, Winston got out. Winston got out.
Mega. See if we
She's
can
still in the house.
pressure that Tracer.
Good cleanup, good
Damn.
pressure. Now teams should be looking
Alright,
to reset.
Mad.
All right, back up.
Back up a little smidge. Top
I'm
left.
low.
Sorry.
Someone underneath.
I like the soldiers' positioning right now. Are we running? Where is Excelsior? Is this him here?
Left.
Yeah, he needs to reset on high ground.
Sorry, Discord.
So right now he's a little too far forward.
Tracer on the right. Ollie shield down.
That felt a little early to me. But Graviton's coming out.
Shit.
Okay.
Uh-oh. No bueno.
Oh.
Alright, don't use bomb.
Fuck.
Okay, so we use 3 ultimates there. We better win that fight. We got both of their tanks. This rest should be easy cleanup for the divers who no longer have people who peel. What we could have done is blown Trance as the defending team against this, forcing them to use bomb. And Hog and Orisa can actually live through bomb. So like, Trance would have been great here if we had considered it. But maybe we got hacked. No, we didn't get hacked because we still have shields. Right? Let's back up.
Sorry, Discord.
Tracer on the right. Ollie shield down.
We did get hacked. All right, so no chance of that.
Shit.
Uh-oh. No bueno.
Oh.
Okay,
Fuck.
3 ults equals a fight win.
Wait.
If everyone dies on point, though, we're going to get another contest just before the end. Not a big deal. We can come out with Trance as the defenders. We can come out with like Trance Bongo Visor. If we went to her, just Bongo Visor.
EMP, I couldn't alt.
Die on points. Make sure you're all going to get cleaned up for the most
we
part.
gotta-
They're 2 mobile. Die on point.
Alright, that's 3 ults. I think we can last.
All right.
Second,
So we decide to use Tire.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's
D-Mac.
fine. We get 2. That seems okay. It works here because even though the fight is lost, there's going to be another trickle fight here. So you're making it so they're essentially down 1.5 people. I can understand why you use the Tire. I think it's a little greedy. A better team might be able to punish that with damage or Zarya shields or even a Winston bubble.
Go for it.
And a tank.
Okay.
That seems
Sombra
fine. Yeah, he gets picked
got
off in
all
the back.
the way behind point. Fucking A.
Alright, so we're here. There's the bomb. Doesn't get too much. If we use that in conjunction, it'd be great.
Yo, it's this fucking Roger Federer guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Damn,
He's
those
doing
rolls.
work.
Or maybe that's
Winston
me.
wins.
Alright, so they used, as they're trying to use 1, use 2, use 3 ultimates. They won the fight in that, like, they now have control over the payload, but they didn't get enough kills, so they could have gotten more out of that. If you're going to invest 3 ultimates into that, I want you to actually get kills from it.
Discord on the Winston.
Just
he's low,
fine.
he's up
Winston's
one
one.
hit.
Winston.
Get
Nice
the
line,
Winston, Rob. Nope. He ulted. He can be burned very, very, very easily. Zenyatta is anywhere around here. Discord him, and he'll just feed you all of that ult charge back. Particularly for Soldier. Which is why he has to leave.
Tracer on our right.
Now that he's left, Tracer's in a really bad spot.
Tracer Discord.
Bad time to pressure
Tracer
for
recall down.
Tracer. She's blinking into
Discorded.
walls.
Nice.
Nice.
Unfortunate. Winston now decides it's time to go back in. We do this awkward thing where like there's still no coordination with the tanks. D.Va's still behind. Winston feels the need to drop bubble because otherwise he's going to get popped, but it's not communicated with the Zarya. Generally you want the Zarya bubble first, and then the Winston bubble. We're using them both overlapping, which leaves him very, very vulnerable if they pop the outside bubble, and then kill you.
Winston,
Widow
Winston,
now,
Winston,
careful.
Winston.
Watch your
Winston
head.
is a very good target
Shoot
right now.
back left. Entrance.
Blink.
Soldier's in a decent position.
This one
Bongo
AD.
would. How does? Oh, he gets widowed. I don't see the
Oh.
widow.
You got a widow?
There
Oh,
she is. She's
Widow
back here.
underneath in the bar.
Shit.
yeah. Oh
Sorry,
man,
got
as you
me.
called it, man.
Stay behind
Sucks.
shield. Alright, the widow carries this one.
There's no healers on point.
Gets 2 quick picks and suddenly they can't defend. I like the stall on payload to delay it as long as possible, even if you're not going to get another
That's
contest.
This point.
Seems fine. Alright. What do we have coming into this next point? Widow's sightlines on this one, they're okay. The problem is you have a hard time hitting people on point because you don't have a crossfire. So if they're hiding behind shields, it's hard for you to get a good angle on them. Also, people just generally like to hold this high ground, which has clear lines of sight along most of the ways you're looking. It can become kind of a juke battle. Widow's not terrible on this point, though. Dive is fine. We're going up on Graviton. We're going to take a lot of poke damage on approach here, most likely, from the spam of their comp. We have to be careful of that. We don't have any great way of mitigating that. And now we're running solo healer, which is going to be really, really, really rough for our tanks. We don't even have the Sombra to, like, off-heal. From the defensive side, we're seeing some pretty standard stuff. Soldier can sit up here. Junkrat can sit on this high ground and come this way and control this space if he wants. The rest of them can kind of sit on the ground. Zen can sit way in the fucking back. Or he can sit high with the soldier. Depends on where the widow's positioned.
I'm gonna bongo and then change to Winston, I think.
I don't think you need to change to Winston. I think you're fine.
You can go D.Va. D.Va would be good.
Oh, fuck.
Alright, they have a widow. Be careful.
Should I
Yeah,
switch
we
off?
gotta watch- Damn, this we don't.
Should I switch off a junk?
Junk's great
I
here.
think I'm just charging the.
Alright, hurry up.
The Zarya hasn't been impactful. Like, the Zarya hasn't gotten kills. She hasn't built a second Graviton yet. I wouldn't be worried about feeding the Zarya,
You can.
I'm not sure what to.
but you do whatever.
I'm just
Tracer.
afraid to do anything.
I'm staying zen.
Genji.
Okay, remember, they still have the widow.
Working. Fuck. That's
Yeah.
If you're going to swap off this, you might want something to contest the widow, like a Genji, maybe. The problem is the Genji isn't good against the rest of their team. Now they in fact have another healer. Okay, who'd they swap? The Tracer? Okay, I think the Tracer is actually one of the ways you get in on this. Is just bomb a tank or bomb a DPS and suddenly this falls apart.
Yeah, I need to get on Genji to get that widow, honestly. My mistake.
It could work. We're getting trickled here. You had 2 people die on high ground. There's no reason to even try to take a fight here and contest payload. You can just group back and spawn and come out as a
Ah.
group.
I just about have ult. I'm gonna get it.
There's no need for this bomb.
Leave.
Make sure you're
Fuck.
contesting. Fight on point, fight on point.
Alright.
Tracer.
So this flank by Swollerosis is not great. I like that he gets more than one person with his ultimate continuously. It would have been better and equally as damaging if he's like here and he can like heal 2 members of his team, damage GS Omega, and depending on his angle, he could probably hit one of these as well. Like if he's here, he can probably just go and hit everyone. He could get 5 people continuously in his ultimate for a bit. That's probably ideal. He also doesn't have a chance of getting bursted down when he's way back here, when he's here. Because you can still die in more, it's only like 50 healing a second. Or it's 50 self-healing, I think, when it's 70 main healing. The purpose of more ult should be, it heals more than it damages. No reason why you can't use it for both, but generally the heal is better than the damage.
They're discorded.
It is a support ult after all.
down.
Alright, so we end up using Grav here. This is a huge Graviton. We don't have anything to block. Zarya's at high enough charge where this is going to be a huge amount of AoE, and suddenly the flank doesn't look so bad.
Shit. Zen discorded. Fuck.
Alright, we use Bongo here. Seems okay. We still have 4 members up for it.
Pulling. Zen. Winston.
We get enough trades going on that we don't need any more ults of the defenders, and they've probably already won the fight. Yep.
Moira, no fade. Moira, no pulling Moira.
Just kill the Winston in your face.
Got her.
Winston if you can.
Alright, Soldier's a little forward.
Shield on point.
They already switched off a Widow. Fuck.
I mean, Genji's fine against this comp too. You just kind of sneak and kill the back line of these two. If you want.
It was working.
Soldier up top.
I don't know.
Soldier, top right, pulling. It's right side truck.
These guys are a little far without help.
Arab.
There goes the mech.
Fuck.
Watch it, Zarya. No.
That's a throw. Losing the mech there for essentially free is a huge problem. We're not getting heals
Zarya
here.
Charged.
Oh, she's so low.
Grape's fighting backline.
Monkey discorded.
Alright, see this, the Zenyatta keeps like getting really close. What I want to see him do is just like stay behind this pillar, or better yet behind like this pillar. When you're behind here, you have retreat paths back to spawn in case you do get pressured. Additionally, when you're playing this angle, you can control this high ground a little bit. You still have good sight lines onto the point. You can get this mini if you really want to. You can do basically whatever you want, and you're not really diveable. You also, from this side at least, have good sight lines onto your soldier in case he gets dove. Being up here is kind of asking to get punished. You're not really using cover. Similarly, this Zen might be far enough back from the payload here, but he has to worry about the high ground here. And this is a very easy focus by both their DPS right now. He could be even further back, or like line of sighting here, or joining up here maybe. Basically the supports are kind of open.
Going Winston.
Alright, this seems fine.
Winston
Monkey
back
got
line.
me.
Advisor's cleaning
He
up.
got me.
There's no need to contest there. You've already won the fight. Don't lose your high ground advantage. You leapt straight at him as soldier, which makes it much easier to get tracked. Which is kind of disrespecting the Zenyatta and just putting him in like a do or die scenario, and he happened to do this time.
Who's behind this?
It's fine. You guys are still kind of
Front
winning
point,
this
front
fight.
point.
Just stall on points. Stall on points.
Fuck. Ah.
You see how boat like he wasn't aware that the soldier was here really, so like he's rotating this way when instead he needs to rotate like into his tank for protection and maybe to the health pack. There was no like safety point that way, but this fight's still going. Diva max out. We're jumping baby Diva, seems fine.
Back 76 off again. I'm on point.
Grape is contesting.
Winston.
Enemy spawns are coming in. He is still too close. He's within spitting distance of half this when he doesn't need to be. He could have, once he killed this, he could take the high ground and just sit up here, have command of the entire point, be relatively safe. If he gets dove, he has the mega here, or he has retreat path to his team, whichever he prefers. Great sightlines, and if they do focus them, they're not on point focusing. So that could have been good. Could have also taken the soldier's place. Once again,
Zen
Low,
escorted.
Zen low.
Zen is
Oh.
not too
Okay.
low.
Nice.
Nice.
Alright, staggers are coming out.
Discorded. Burning for ult.
Burn him.
We almost have Blade. They have trance and response. Focus should be him, if you
Burn him.
can.
Burn him.
He's still discorded. Come on.
You know he has, you have to know he has trance.
Fuck. I'm hiding from that.
Not on point.
Good positioning by the soldier. If he notices, however, these two are in the open for him if he looks this way. So like this positioning isn't great. If they had played back here closer to where a boat is, they can line of sight that and still contest and still fight
Never
point.
mercy.
Sorry, behind
Sorry.
point. Discord. Alone.
Sorry,
Half.
Discord.
Zen once again is just kind of in the middle of things.
Personal down.
Okay,
No
surprise.
healers. No healers. Good
I'm good. I'm alive.
Monkey. Monkey.
Where is that one?
On point.
job. Same point. Same
Monkey
point.
Discord.
Zen's Discord.
He's slow. Monkey super low. Got him.
Nice.
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 Good push up. Long staggered fight.
Good
See
hold,
if I
good
can
hold, good
find that 76. 76 is top right.
He dropped off. Top
Yeah.
right. I fell off.
He's discorded.
Alright, so last fight, what are we coming with? We're gonna have Visor on defending team. We're gonna have Primal. We're not too far from Coalescence, we'll probably build that. If the fight goes long enough, we'll have Valkyrie. Unfortunately, that's well after V's build, so unless you can take a shit ton of poke immediately, you're not gonna get Valkyrie in time.
Just gonna make sure they don't.
This should be a
Right.
this should be a hold.
Someone's up
you
top.
76
top
top
right.
right.
Watch
Got
out.
him.
Junkrat behind.
Wow, he gets the soldier. That's huge. Where was his support?
Just gonna make sure they don't
Grape should have seen the Winston go here.
back
Rob.
up.
They know the Winston's here.
Someone's up top.
76
top
top
right.
right.
Watch out.
They see the jump on the Winston, and instead of doing counter dive and peeling for their soldier, who is their win condition for this fight, you see the Winston jump this way, and I think you see the Diva do absolutely nothing.
Got him.
This orb never leaves. The soldier just kind of gets left out to
Junkrat
dry.
behind.
He never gets healed.
76 behind truck.
Wow,
Junkrat's
Monkey
low.
Discord.
monkeys just all over the place.
Sorted.
Drunk's one.
Zen half.
They lost two ultimates because of that.
They've
Yeah,
got a Reaper
Because of
watch
that
three.
play right there. Now suddenly Valkyrie is going to come in.
Monkey on me. I'm dead.
I got a Reaper.
Okay, so soldier drops.
That's maybe the Reaper.
Oh, you're Reaper, my bad.
Oh man.
Winston has the stall.
Oh, we never got that Junkrat. Shit.
Val comes out immediately. Good. Here comes Visor. She can line of sight it. Winston body blocks. Is he going to die in Visor?
Dying
He
in
will. Good
Make sure we're
focus.
fighting on point.
Discord
Boat doesn't do
monkey.
too much. Here comes their Visor.
One.
She's healing. Yeah.
Play point.
Yeah, I can't stall anymore.
This was a complete throw by defending. I don't know if it was communicated, oh, they're going to have Visor, let's jump in, but it was a really poor reaction to the jump. He didn't run in time. His team didn't assist him whatsoever.
I'm so close to ult.
Picks?
Shit.
And this was like the most important position for the next fight. That's a shame. Okay.
We couldn't pick anything at the end there.
Yeah. Definitely a lack of communication focus. Playing too aggro when you don't need to. You didn't realize your win condition.
We needed to turn on that Junkrat, I think.
Nah.
I wish, dude.
I didn't even notice the Junkrat in that fucking fight. Let's actually watch that again. The enemy Junkrat builds a lot of damage. So here he comes in. Apparently. He's up here.
Someone's up
you
top.
76
top
top
right.
right.
Watch
Got
out.
him.
Here he goes.
Junkrat behind.
He gets him once.
76 bench.
Yeah, you could have turned on him, but like saving your 76 is
Trap.
way more important.
Junkrat's
Monkey
low.
discorded.
Drunk's one.
Boat instead of healing is just like fighting the
half.
Junkrat.
They've got a Reaper, watch the Reaper.
Monkey on me, I'm dead.
I got
Yeah.
a Reaper. That's maybe the Reaper.
Oh, you're
Discord.
Junkrat did fine, but like I really don't think that's the reason why you lost the fight.
Good up.
Shit.
All right, so let's look at team comps. We have Pharah modified dive against anti-dive. I do expect when you're playing Ana and Zen, there's a you want to against dive, you want to be like way the fuck back here. You want to be on the other side of like this boardwalk that's further this way. I don't know if you can, yeah, further on the boardwalk that way. If you're up here, you can get dove or rushed. You don't have any retreat paths here, especially against dive. And once they realize that, they should just attack you. This positioning, while it can be okay against death ball, they can punish you for that. Back here, you're not seeing the payload itself, unless you're seeing it through like this window here. But you're incredibly safe, and they have to go really out of their way to dive you. And that's what you want to force them to do as Ana and force them to do as Zen. Is you're probably going to get jumped, but they have to use every cooldown to do it, which puts them in a vulnerable position. So even if you do die, they're likely to trade. This composition, we don't have a lot of damage to follow in here except for Diva directs, which is why like I think Genji would have been better here instead of the soldier, but soldier should be fine. Everything else is pretty standard. Win conditions, I guess on this fight, we're going to be saving trance for aimbot in a lot of instances, and then we can kill their air duo with visor and nano visor. If we ever get Diva out of mech, nano visor will just clean this fight. Same with Bongo. Bongo plus whole hog will also clean a fight. There's some good nano targets here. Junkrat in general is just good against like their ground forces here. So we'll see how that goes.
stand on your jump.
They got an Orisa.
Nice.
If the Zen stays high ground, I think that's great.
Break this new shield.
Oh.
He gets blown the fuck up.
Ow.
Discord on someone up there.
Alright, the Winston's taking
Oh,
infinite.
your body's on the payload. I can't.
It's
to
slowing
76.
away.
Alright, so you're down, your major source of damage, and it wasn't communicated you were jumping earlier. Winston can easily be focused here and should be forced to retreat. Instead, he's chasing behind here. So the hog doesn't react to the dive. If he does, the Winston dies.
Discord on Roadhog.
Come back.
Alright, we finally come in. Now the Diva overcommits. The Winston's defensive capabilities aren't going to help. This is a lost mech.
Kills, carry down.
It's just distinct dive. We do end up getting the soldier somehow. Not really sure how that happens.
It's
to
slowing
76.
away.
Ooh.
So he takes no damage. He has a good reaction really from the Winston for the most part.
Discord on Roadhog.
He's at
Back
full
for
health.
kills, carry down. It's nice. 76 down.
He just gets
As on the-
directed.
Ooh.
Discord on Roadhog.
Come back for heals, carry down.
He gets directed into Winston follow-up. Okay. Okay. That's generally how this guy kind of goes. It's dependent upon the fire to actually generate the damage. Good thing he was able to hit this and that the soldier kind of looked away for a second. Rest of the team is kind of backing up this way. This is still a very winnable fight, even without your hit scan. But you really kind of want to contest the payload, even if you lose. Just so you can get another fight in before it pushes all the way.
It's nice. 76 down.
As on the
Discord
left.
on Ana.
Orisa.
Nice.
Nice.
So attackers are getting a lot here.
Junkrat.
There's the contest. I wouldn't have sent the Junkrat to be the first one to contest,
Oh,
but
Discorded.
here we are.
Need help. Need help.
Winston's
Hug
going
on
to
me,
die.
Hug on point. Hug on
Discord on
point.
Hog.
Discord.
Discord on
Heal
Hog.
down. Heal down. Works that hug.
Reloading.
See how the Ana's just kind of
Got
here.
One hit, got him.
Behind the sign is somebody.
Anna.
I think it's Ana.
I would never go in here as far. It's enough to just kind of spam the door.
She's out.
76 top right. I'm gonna jump him in two. Jump
See him.
top right. Race up here.
This is like hell to come through at against Afara.
Can't really hit anybody. I'm just on the point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. Just get point. Push the Orisa. Nice, nice, nice.
Get the Orisa. This whole thing can be staggered now. They're low on health.
I don't have heals for you, Rob. Oh, no, I do.
We wake up the sleeper. Not great.
Just one Roadhog.
So much ult. I'm gonna have ult
Hold
on
on
this,
one.
guys.
Like I think the attacking team, now that they're close to healed, needs to push up here before the Orisa rejoins.
Still on the
The
point.
shield is no joke
Cool.
when it comes to damage mitigation. Alright, so you know that the defending team is going to be set up kind of like in this arc, with maybe some caveats here or down here. It's not really that big of a deal. What Farrak wants to do is play this roof here, for the most part. Gives her nice sightlines all over here, gives her a nice natural retreat path back up. Can't really be contested by anyone on the enemy team, and makes it awkward as the rest of the team kind of dives from this direction. And creates like a little bit of a crossfire and hesitation there. So that's what I want to see from the Farah. In that regard, I want to see the soldier try to deny her this high ground. It's going to be difficult, especially if she uses concussive blast and if Mercy's around to do it. And it might leave him vulnerable to the dive. It's
On your jump.
Alright.
can be just
Revenge
kind of
on you
Go in
awkward.
the shop.
So the Winston here, or Junkrat's out of
I'm
position.
under Junkrat.
Oh!
Junkrat, Junkrat.
Got him.
I'm down.
Nice, nice. Hooks
Uh,
hooks down.
Zen's
See how far out of position from his like tank line and the shield he was? Turns out, can't do that against dive. Zenyatta is close to doing that too. If he was like way back on this high ground, he'd be okay and probably in a better position. Zenyatta is kind of,
He's like beyond the point. Beyond
Ooh.
the thing, rather.
I'm on the left on Orisa.
he's really low. He should die. Does he have ultimate? He does
Got
not.
him.
He's just dead.
Discord and Hog.
Oh, I got
Yeah,
hooked.
bad jump. The hook didn't matter. He's also, like, this wasn't communicated to the Farah that, like, we're rezzing here. So he puts himself in a very aggressive position in front of the enemy hit scan. Low altitude, low distance.
Send down, send down.
Ooh, I'm low.
Hog
Soldier
still
one.
discorded.
I'm surprised you lived.
Hog.
Alright, so we're going to use Visor to actually clean this. That seems fine. I don't mind that.
Point discorded. He
The
hooked
Hog.
me.
Get the dog.
Thank you.
Okay, no more ults. Please no more
Who's
ults.
next?
Arissa
Slow
one.
in the very
Call
back.
targets,
Orisa
push
and
bottom,
Anna.
right
Anna's behind there.
Let's get Arissa.
I
Almost
have
there.
trans ready.
Make sure
Get
we
in
got
her
on point.
face. She has no cooldowns.
Point.
Try to keep you to the
It's
It's a
rail.
good
Anna.
stagger. Good push up by
Arissa one,
the
dead.
attacking team.
Watch out.
Top right.
Scatter. Coming up
Push payload though. Come on.
Oh god.
Oh, what?
Ooh.
Yeah, he
That's
ran it up
some
for us.
Shit.
Ah. Fuck. That's something.
Alright, so I don't like this immediate trance. He wasn't even firing at anyone trance-worthy right now, and you've likely lost this fight as they get respawns and then can come out to collect the three of you. I understand the like desperation Winston ult. If he manages to hold everyone in here, you guys can actually cap. But I don't. Like, it seems desperation, and with 4 minutes left, I don't think you need to do that.
Alright, back up.
Discord and Hog.
Yeah, you just fed a shit ton of ult to them instead. Like, Junkrat's at 55% after just using Tire because we used Winston ult there. So poor trans, poor Winston ult.
No more Matrix.
Get out, get
Probably
out,
need
get
it.
out. He should probably be firing on the Junkrat who's
Drop.
free.
Junk one. Soldier one.
That's a free
One.
Diva mech.
Discord soldier.
Hey, there goes Diva mech.
I tried, homie.
Our tank line, as the attackers right now, are feeding a tremendous amount of ult charge. By desyncing their engages, using ultimates and movement abilities into the enemy team when there is little to no chance of success. The Far is getting good value.
Discord Zen.
Hog
Hog on the left, Hog. Watch him.
is a little far forward.
Shit.
It's feeding a
Hog
decent
one.
amount to
Junkrat.
the visor.
Jump.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
He's one. Fuck.
Coming back for heals.
Scatter.
There's another
Wait, try
tire.
to jump last second so I can GA somewhere. Thank you. That was awesome.
Got it.
Nice.
Fucking
Alright, we
nice
lost
jump.
Diva Mech again.
I'm on Junkrat.
Mm. You see where the rest of his team is, though? Like, if the Mercy goes in, there's a non-zero chance she gets hooked in transit, or halted in transit, or just straight killed in transit. Like, Mercy isn't designed to follow dive in, and Mercy kind of waits for dive to leap out and then heals them. But you notice how these two are like way the fuck back here and can't support this whatsoever, and Diva is not in mech. This is a shitty jump.
Junkrat halfway
baby.
point.
I'm dead.
76 on the left.
Forces
Oh,
him
shit.
down. Okay.
Jumped the wrong way.
Hey,
No,
you
I didn't
died.
want to do that.
How does he die as well? I guess Junkrat
Oh.
got some. Alright, so this is another lost fight.
Sorry,
Just
guys.
back up.
Ooh.
Just back up.
That was a bad GA.
Grape commits an ultimate to the 4v6. Okay.
Nice.
Fuck cocker lightning.
And then drops to them or gets
Ooh,
hooked
they're so
down or
low.
something.
Oh,
We
what
commit a barrage there too. We're just kind of YOLO with our ults
Oh
here.
shit.
What are you doing?
Sorry, guys.
Why did we nano? Why did we whole hog?
Almost had.
Probably my bad.
Maybe he's a lot of ults there. Lightning.
Like,
Yeah, fucking. There you go. Try to jump. Ah.
Hog
let's
it.
watch the
Soldier.
start of this engage. So here we go.
No more Matrix.
This is the trickle
Probably
fight
gonna drop.
where Diva boosts
Drop
in
one.
as they're regrouping,
Soldier one.
loses mech.
Discord soldier.
Fight's really like gone from here.
I tried, homie.
Fortnite
Discord
taught
on
me to
me.
burst fire.
Discord Zen.
We get a soft reset.
Hog on the left. Hog. Watch him.
Hog feeds some ultimate, but gets out.
Jump. Junkrat. Jumping jump.
Oh,
We jump without our team. Force him back.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, fuck.
He's one. Fuck.
We res here. We come back for heals. In the meantime, Diva's going to lose mech to not tire.
Fuck.
Got it.
Still regrouping.
There you go. Try to jump last second so I can GA someone.
I don't understand how does he lose mech that fast?
Thank you. That was awesome.
Got it.
Like, this just is incredibly uncoordinated. It's like everyone is playing without their microphone, and they like threw a dart at a timetable and decided, hey, we're gonna go in now.
Nice.
Fucking nice jump, dude.
I'm on Junkrat.
Why?
Junkrat halfway
baby.
point.
Okay, you force him down. This is like a great position for like if Pharah was here and Diva was here, jumping this cluster of people would be fantastic. Unfortunately, that's not the
So, on the left.
the
Oh
reality
shit, I
we
jumped
live
the
in.
wrong way. No.
All right, so here you're up 2, right? You got their main tank and their main healer.
Oh, I didn't want to do that. Oh.
You're down your main tank and your main healer, so you decide to visor in their face. The only response that might be necessary is just trancing, if you feel like it.
Sorry,
Soldier
guys.
just. Oh, I got me. He got me.
That was a bad GA.
Alright, so now it's even. Okay, so now it's even.
Nice, nice.
Fuck cocker lightning.
Now you're up 1 as the defending team.
Ooh, they're so low.
Now you're up 2 as the defending team. They only have a Winston. They only have a Winston. I don't see how he died. And we've already started to use whole hog.
Oh, what
Oh shit.
Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Almost had.
Why do we no.
Maybe he's a lot of ults there.
That seems fine, I guess. I can understand the panic as people start to go down, but like
Yeah.
nano definitely not necessary. Hog probably not.
Let's go right
Fuck,
side.
it's already 11 o'clock. 30.
Oh, it's 11:30, friend.
Someone heal your Ana.
Your jump.
Heal your Ana. Please heal your Ana. Please
Push
heal
out.
your Ana.
Try and get that 76.
Please heal your
Okay.
Ana. Please
Soldier
heal your
on the
Ana.
roof is discorded.
Yeah. I'm gonna jump
Please heal your Ana.
soldier when I'm topped off.
Please heal your soldier. Or your Ana.
Oh, he's so low. Oh, I'm stupid.
I'm gonna watch this because this whole
Your jump.
healing thing's distracting me. So you're coming through this narrow choke against spam. You gotta come through quick.
McCree.
We linger here for too long. So we're gonna eat even more poke, which is gonna force us to linger there even longer. I would probably, as dive here, just jump on the soldier and force him down. You're unlikely to kill him, but you're taking the space away from him. And so in 6 seconds, when your jump cooldowns are back, you can then drop down on them if they're here. You can drop down on them if they're here, and then you can leap away when you're good. So like this is sort of, you're going to use this rooftop as a staging area to plan your actual assault and just take space away from them. You don't have to use your cooldowns to get on targets. You can take space as
Soldier
well.
on the roof is discorded.
Yeah.
Alright, so
I'm gonna jump soldier when I'm
heal your Ana, heal your
topped
soldier.
off.
I like the decision. He's just
he's-
never. Alright, so I don't see. Where is our Zenyatta healing orb? Is here for the defending team. I don't see a healing orb for the attackers anywhere. And the Mercy's ignorant of what's going on up here. The Mercy's just not paying attention.
So low. Oh, I'm stupid.
Alright, there's the orb. And we're gonna get further staggered because we decided to stick around and the defending team rightfully comes to collect us. There goes Matrix. She needs to just immediately boost away.
76 off high ground.
Alright, so if we're gonna bomb here, we want to retreat to a safe path where we can mech, which is not here. If the enemy team has better focus, they can actually kill us during the remech animation. I know as Tracer, I try to get it every time. If we instead just like fall down here, we're equally good for remeching, and then we can rejoin the fight without endangering ourselves. So I like the initial jump up here, and then we can get the collapse. This is good Zen positioning. I like this. He doesn't have a ton of cover, but he has great sight lines. If he's instead playing like maybe here instead, he can use like this ledge as cover. Right now, his only option are really to kind of drop down, but that's pretty good positioning. This Zen on point is the exact opposite right now. This is where his tank should be, generally. If he's not on this background high ground, he needs to be back behind like this pillar here. Using that as cover, forcing them to really go out of their fucking way to deal with him.
I'm on point.
Zen should die.
Shit.
Soldier on that sick flank. Zen actually drops down into his line of sight.
Fuck.
It's fine. We can focus the soldier. The soldier's really out of position.
Hooks down.
Oh, he got me.
We get one. Okay. Alright. Boat, your main healer's down. If you guys are going to commit to this fight, you need to Valkyrie. The Winston jumps in onto the mispositioned
This is
person.
low.
He gets saved.
Spark's low.
Zen? Zen by the right side?
Yeah,
Nice.
Zen,
Okay.
Zen and Ana now.
Ana?
Zen and
Shit.
Ana low. Ana low.
Healers are mispositioned. All of them were kind of on the payload instead of like back behind in safety, pocketing each other. Good sleep on Ana to
One,
save
Ana
him for a
down.
little bit, but you can't save
And you
bad
gotta get that guy.
positioning
go.
consistently. We have a res off, that sounds fine. Diva should already kind of be like, hey, they're respawning, I need to be up here. Blocking it.
Good get. Focus.
McCree's back on top.
And because that doesn't happen, McCree gets a pick. Stalls
For the
us out
McCree.
further.
76 top.
Brought back up, I can't.
Oh,
yeah.
top me out. Thanks.
Nice.
I think he got bad spawn.
Hey,
Seeing if
I
there's-
respawned at long spawn.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
Alright.
Oh.
So this is a good position. I like the attacking team's chances here. They have a decent amount of time and a decent amount of ults. They can spend like a push or two kind of getting ults out of the enemy team, particularly this trance. Then they can take high ground and go with a pocketed visor. I suspect that Pharah is going to have major issues on this point. Not only is the skybox like minuscule, but there's double hit scan Zen on the enemy team, and they've already built a high noon for her. Farah just isn't going to do very well here, I feel. I'd probably switch to, if you could play any champion, it'd probably be either Tracer or Genji here to assist with the dive. Just leave Soldier
setting up
there
on
on high
corner.
ground.
At least you can fly.
They're setting up on corner, that seems fine. If you're going to set up on corner and hold it, you want someone on this high ground to just rain down on them. This high ground too wouldn't be awful, but you're going to be the primary dive focus. So I'd only really put... We'll put Hog up there. Fuck it, just put like Hog Soldier up there and just have them peel for each other, maybe. Hog might eat too much damage, actually. Hog can maybe stay up here.
Yeah, I can get by pretty fast.
The Zen is also still kind of close. I want him to be further. I love the Ana positioning way the fuck back here. I think McCree could play a little further up. Like within stun range, like maybe here and be fine.
I'm gonna try to go behind with an ult, and then I'll probably
You
switch
want
off.
me to go with you or no?
No, unless you just spotted me. No.
So here's the McCree positioning. McCree does have to be careful if he gets dope. He needs to drop down into his team. Honestly, these guys jumping the McCree right now would do wonders. He's too close. He's far too close to the fight. If he wants to have sightlines here, he needs to be back here behind the crates, where he's not in any danger. Or he can just stay back here. I'd probably prefer behind like these crates here, though. I don't mind this far flank. I think this one's fine. She's going to kill herself in the exchange. If she's going to ult right here, we should be saving Matrix specifically for it, or we should bubble it, or both.
On high ground left.
Holy shit.
He went up top.
We actually seem to like, we tried Matrixing it.
No, unless you just spotted me. No.
So what do we Matrix?
Somebody on high ground left.
Holy shit.
We're Matrixing the character instead of, we're Matrixing the enemy here instead of our teammate, so he gets just fucking directed by a soldier
One up
rocket.
top. Alright,
That's bad coordination from the diva.
that's a lot of ults.
Okay.
Uh-oh, I didn't want to do that. Fuck. Big
Get someone.
fucking typo.
Soldier high ground, Discord.
Soldier low up there.
Jumping him.
She's a little too far. These tanks are desynced once again. I don't see the diva and Winston going on the same target pretty much ever.
Zoom back.
We lose mech again because of it.
Soldier's low, he's in the back. Monkey.
Who's our healing orb on? We're getting
You got
fucked on points. Soldier has ended up in a weird position.
76-1, top.
And a low no jar.
Punch
Holy
him.
shit, he's got
Though.
Nikes.
We commit to this further.
Getting healed.
I don't have res for you, Robin.
Alright, so we end up going Genji. That seems fine.
Log on point!
This end positioning was good way back here. I like that. Ana is doing what any Ana's dream of. They're commanding a fight from a far fucking distance and they're untouchable.
Oh!
It's fantastic.
Hog
Oh,
discorded.
I don't
Guys,
understand
we're
what's
split as
going on. Yeah, what's going on? With the Winstons duking it out over here, we have soldiers still behind enemy lines playing Owen Wilson or some shit. Genji's over here fighting someone from a distance, and both the healers have kind of skedaddled. So, is this a reset?
Tell your supports are behind
Here we
point.
are.
Soldier gets out. Why is this Hog allowed to stay here? Discord him. Discord and then hit him with 3 people. Don't shoot the camera, Hog.
Okay.
That's
Hog
right. He finally gets discorded.
discorded.
Fuck.
Okay. We have good heroes to just line of sight this right now. We're in good positions. He can run this way, he can run this way. He can use payload. He can go here. Neither of these ultimates should do anything from the
Top
angles
left.
I think they are.
High noon and
We don't need a trance. It's not going to save people from high noon.
Shit.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, we probably needed that. I shouldn't have out, I guess. I don't know.
No, you didn't need either of those.
Oh, you
Someone
got. I
shouldn't have
didn't even
something.
realize.
76.
He's
oh,
one. Nice.
We're still fragging out.
Anna on the left, Anna left.
We're now at the point in the map though where like their respawns are going to come in faster than ours. Their trades are not good. We're still desynced. Oh no, our Winston dies next to our diva.
And I
Guess
want
that's fine. But like this guy can be free too.
Soldier Discord. I mean, Monkey.
Monkey. He's on
Monkey
me.
one.
Discord low. Dead.
Nice.
Why are we visoring here? We don't have a good angle on fucking anyone.
nice bait boat.
Yo, it's stolen point.
Forced an ult. Pretty good.
Oh!
Wow,
McCree
he just
discorded.
fucking walked up to me.
He's gonna walk up to you. They have a fucking trance.
Yeah, I guess he can.
Yeah.
McCree's discorded.
Tanks are
Over aggressive.
tanks responding now.
Fucking nerd.
Watch the Reaper.
Alright.
Who's that? On a discord.
Winston jump in. Yeah. This is not great Ana positioning now that his team has respawned. Dies. Zenyatta also not great positioning now that the team is aggressing. Dies. It's more important to stay alive than contest the payload
Zen?
Zen. Yo, healers.
at this stage.
Right, Reaper
With your
watch
respawns
front
coming in.
point. Reaper 1, Reaper 1.
One of you can be on payload. Both of you don't need to be on payload.
Winston.
Fuck.
Watch that hog.
I'm on hog.
Hog.
Discord.
Alright, let's take stock of the fight. Zen positioning, it's okay. Soldier positioning, it's okay. Neither of them are controlling high ground, and both of them are a little close. Soldier up here, sounds good. I don't know where the Mercy's going right now. She's basically at full health and not in danger. She needs to be supporting this. I see a healing orb on our Genji. That's okay from the attacking team. Better to keep the tanks in armor though, honestly. That'll get you much further. Tanks right now aren't really taking space. This guy is currently Winston ulting. If he's discorded and focused by the team, he'll blow up instantly and he'll probably feed you another visor. From the defending team, we're down 2. We have someone contesting point, that's fantastic. We swapped to Lucio to both be slippery and probably has more utility than Ana right now. That seems fine. We want to get recontrol the high ground. We don't have too many people alive to do it right now, so we're just kind of in stall mode. Any picks we get are good.
McCrane left.
Alright, so this guy is taking too long. Where is our diva going? Is the McCree up here? Am I missing that?
Zen.
Okay, so the McCree was... No, the McCree's on this side. Someone called McCree left.
Hog.
Discord.
McCrane left.
McCree on left. But he's not... Oh, there he is. Alright, so there's some miscommunication going on with the diva where the Winston says McCree on left, and I think she means like on this side, so she jumps up to fight him. Well, he just kind of walks this way.
Zen.
The Zen is not in a great position. He has no real need to be on point. He could easily just be back here with his McCree or back here and be perfectly safe and actually be able to influence the fight.
Monkey Discord.
Alright, so we get a trade.
Get
That's
that
a
Zen, he's
problem.
on point.
He's one hit.
Zen out of position.
Lucio.
I don't know how that happened.
2 ultimates come in. Clutch
Hog coming
moments.
left.
Hog halfish.
We're gonna have Blade here, or we're gonna have Visor here in a second.
Reaper coming in.
As long as that doesn't die.
Reaper on me!
Hog Discord.
What are you doing so close then? Yeah, you're Mercy. That's fine. If Zen was further back and actually where he's supposed to be, back here, you could Guardian Angel to him for safety. If Soldier maintains high ground here, just takes a second out of his time to walk up here. You could Valk to him, Guardian Angel to him to safety.
Oh, there's a May
I'm close
wall.
to Falcon.
Hog.
If I get Falcon, we got this.
How do you end up here, Grape?
Halfish.
Hog.
Alright, so you're just
Reaper coming
you're
in.
here.
Reaper.
And you're instead of retreating to your team, you kind of retreat
From
to
me.
their spawn. So now there's a bunch of people behind you, and you're about to visor on 30% health.
Oh, there's a May
I'm
wall.
close to Falcon.
Hog.
If I get
Hog,
Falcon, we
hog,
got
hog.
this.
I'm dead.
Mercy on
Hog
point.
Discord.
Mercy on point.
Hog still Discord.
Don't let her rest.
You let her res. Spoilers.
My bad, I was reloading.
Do we need?
I'm dead.
Mercy on
Hog
point.
Discord.
Mercy on point.
Hog still Discord.
Don't let her rest.
My bad, I was reloading.
We just randomly like diva bomb here. I don't like that. We have like 300 health. This is going to turn into a trickle fight. You're unlikely, especially with this bomb placement, to get like anyone killed with it. You're gonna have to stall on point like indefinitely to get your soldier back and actually take a fair fight. Likely, you need that bomb to stall. I think.
I
Nice,
paused.
nice.
Shit,
Lucio?
I'm
Please, you prove me wrong, and you get the Lucio who
Winston,
just
Winston,
wasn't paying
Winston.
attention.
back. Winston's on me. Winston Discord. Nice.
Reaper on
Reaper.
points. Not gonna have ultimate.
Nice, killed. May.
May Discord.
Good stall by the
Mercy,
May.
mercy.
The Mercy doesn't need to be in here yet. There's no reason for the Mercy to fly in like that. You can wait.
She led. Fuck her.
May.
Discord.
Lucio.
Lost Diva Mech, guys.
Hog low.
Hog Discord.
Moira.
Moira Discord.
What the fuck? Do they have three healers?
Yes.
Mhm.
Nice. Reaper.
For Discord.
Nice.
Alright,
Good.
so this map continues.
I
Some
have
bad
no
ultimates there. Some really bad communication on the attack run.
Making me play.
Dash on.
A little bit.
Do you want mercy?
Dash on.
Hell.
Alright, so what are we running? We're running a Bastion attack. Okay. We've seen the enemy team run a Junkrat, which is kind of the issue here. They've also run Orisa on first point, which is also an issue. They're going to have generally decent shield break. They have the ability to pull you off of payload. They have an ultimate which kind of just ends your push. So, I mean, cheese for cheese sake.
Alright,
I think you really want a Diva here instead of the Reinhardt.
guys, I guess try to stay grouped, and Farah, good luck.
Farah's going to have an issue because
Sorry.
he doesn't have a Mercy.
I don't know what to tell you, Moira.
Farah sees this Bastion comp. Call it out.
I'm gonna hold this corner up here.
Probably dying.
Throw an orb over.
The Bastion.
Two people see the fucking Bastion. It's chewing through two members of your team, so Bagel decides to come up here, and then he's like, oh shit, I'm mispositioned because they have a fucking Bastion comp and no one told me. That's not excusable. Tell your teammates. As soon as you see their comp, let them know.
That's a reverse Arista shield. It's clearly advanced tactics.
Oh, boy.
Alright, see how you have two shields and no one is shielding the Bastion?
Bastion down.
Okay, well he's gonna get rezzed. So the Farah's job right now is to make sure that that res doesn't end up successful. She's the only one really on the flank to do it. Because I assume that the Rhine shield's gonna come this way to prevent these people on high ground from doing that.
Bastion down.
Oh, boy.
There's the res. We're ignoring the
Orisa
res.
Discord.
Completely ignored the res.
Alright, triple tank
Bastion
Bastion.
rezzed.
Some other fucking
He's back on it.
Oh no.
We feed Diva Mech again.
Shit.
Everyone's feeding.
Okay.
Alright, we need to fucking break that. I'm switching Junkrat. I have AIDS now. Fuck. I thought
Farah could have carried that.
they
Nice,
were
dude.
friends.
Reinhardt's gonna do worse against this than the fucking.
Holy shit.
Orc's down.
Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Regroup, and then
Yo, just
contest.
contest.
I would fight them right here. In this choke. We got everyone here.
The door.
Zenyatta does not need to be here. Zenyatta can be on this high ground just fine. Everyone else can play up.
Nah, it's... Yeah. We
Don't
probably
take the
need to-
poke. Wait for the doors to
we
close.
probably don't need to be this far. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter.
just-
Here.
Like, we're gonna waste a lot of shield here, I think,
They
doing
want
this.
to play, but they're gonna have ults.
Yeah, they have one ult.
Celsius, back up.
You almost have barrage.
Bastion's off the cart.
Oh no, Rob, back up.
Getting up on the left
Healing
side.
up.
Going to point.
No one is supporting Bagel here. I don't think he needs to even show. He could have just stayed in this pocket until they come around and then have everyone rush.
Point.
He's gonna die so fast.
no.
Ran low,
I'm
ran low.
trying. I can't.
Alright, so we get the Orisa. We get their Reinhardt. We have barrage, just fucking pop that shit.
Bash on right.
that.
Bash on right. Bash
Pop
on right.
it.
Put him
Pop
point.
it.
Put him point.
Do it.
Watch that Bastion.
Now we do it now that we're immobile and he used Bastion. Alright,
Roadhog
so we die
discarded.
for it.
Nice.
But we get
Ah.
2 and we win. Easy.
Fuck. Okay.
Oh, I was on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we
alright.
Yeah.
Boat mode is so
My
angry
bad.
that the attackers
like,
got
what
off.
Side boat. No, no, that was the right.
Hello.
That's hilarious.
That was a good push, though.
We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. AB Reeve.
What are you playing?
Unbelievable.
Are we
Oh,
running
unbelievable.
the same cheese?
What do we want to run with the Bastion?
I don't know if we really.
Triple tank
we-
like they did.
That's too much.
Call.
Not that far was because they raised
maybe.
the Bastion.
That's true. That's true.
They also screwed up their shield.
I did not choose this.
Alright, so we're running triple tank Bastion. On attack, and on defense, we're running anti-dive with Widow. Okay, so the Widow's gonna have a hard time getting an angle here, as is kind of typical. I like the rest of it just fine. I do think the Ana should just be back here instead. If they're running dive again, she's an easy first target.
Life. You chose this life for me.
Yeah, I did.
I just wanted to jump off walls and throw orbs at people.
I don't know why I cannot jump on this payload. What the fuck?
It's moving too fast.
Here comes the spam.
Oh, you fell up!
You don't want to put, so let's go back here. You wait until the Orisa shield goes down, then you put the Rhine shield up.
Oh, you fell up!
And then now that the Orisa shield is back, you rest the Rhine shield. That's the cycle you want to go. Okay, Zen positioning is fine. Mercy positioning is fine.
Jello. Recharging on.
You have to be careful of the Widow wherever the Widow is. Here's the Widow. Always be mindful of this. That's all you really care about. What does that need?
Widow on the right.
Alright, rest of the team can drop.
Roadhog
They're in
discarded.
like the perfect position of like get fucked. They lost their Bastion.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Drop. Drop. Take this fight.
My shield's out.
Oh,
Care.
I'm
And
down.
on left, and on
Jump
left.
trap.
Damn it.
Fuck.
They are more versed in cheese than we are.
Zen.
Aw, that's sweet, Lakota.
Oh, I'm down.
I'm gonna read this conversation again. Hold on, because it's about me.
Widow on the right.
Shit.
Oh, it wasn't about me. It's about
Shallow.
Excelsior. Okay,
Recharging on.
that's fine. I'm not mad.
Widow on the right.
Shit. Roadhog discorded.
Oh, I'm fucked.
My shield's out.
Oh,
Care.
I'm
And
down.
on left, and on
Jump
left.
trap.
Damn it.
Do. Yeah, this is lost now.
They are more versed in cheese than we are.
Subtle.
Zen.
Shit, they have a sniper.
The Zen, he's in the corner, left shoulder.
Dead.
Zen discorded. He's one hit.
We have like staggered ourselves pretty badly here on payload, like continuing with it. Yeah, there was only 15 seconds left. We could have tried to back out the best we could and regrouped for one final push with as many members as possible.
Hug.
Shit.
The fact that we
Get the
haven't done
point,
that
get the point.
means
Hug,
we're
hug,
gonna
hug.
die.
We are on point. Get the
Come
widow.
on, my guy.
Or I'm on the widow.
Touch it.
Who's left?
Who isn't left?
I almost got a res off. That's great. Bye.
Nah, it's
That was
over.
hard.
Alright, so this is
Oh,
done.
there's a trap in there. That feels bad. I didn't see
close.
the trap.
Okay. So similar sort of thing kind of plagued Team 40 where like people are desynced and they don't know whether we're going in or going out. Particularly with dive comp. The Winston and Diva are not together. The DPS are not with the tanks either. Supports are mispositioning a little bit, particularly the Zen for both teams. We're using ults in what I would otherwise consider one fights. A few of them I can understand why. Some of the others just seem like really egregious blowing ults. We have some work to do. I don't know if I'll review this one from Team 37's perspective. It would be very interesting to hear their comms, their communications, but at the same time, I tried to touch on as much of it as possible here. If they're communicating ult usage, that'd be great. If both teams are saying, hey, they're going to have these ults in this fight, that'd be great. If they're communicating that maybe we want to try dry pushing here, or their fire is going to have barrage here, or I'm going to barrage here, so matrix me and protect me, that'd be ideal. These are things we need to work on as a team, and when we do that, we'll start to see not only communication pick up, but the coordination and efficiency of our pushes.